All right. Happy Friday. Welcome to the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Live them and reach your potential. As you can see, we are diving into the #1 best-selling book by Dr. John C. Maxwell. So a lot of these quotes and things in this PowerPoint and in our talk today is going to be pulled from our mentor, just incredible leader, John Maxwell. So let's jump in. Jessica and I, Jay High and Jay Low, we have put this together. We've been business partners for 5 years, friends for 6, and it's just really fun to not only venture higher together, but learn and grow on this journey together. So this is pictures of us at one of our conventions together. It's just incredible when you get to not only pull back to other people, but grow as friends and business partners alike. I'm up in the cold, amazing, beautiful country of Canada this week. J-Lo is down in Florida. So a little bit about my background, just for those of you who are new or jumping on the webinar or listening to the recording. I'm originally from Canada, so I have a funny accent, out and about. And I grew up all over the U.S. I'm a dual citizen, and in college, I went to school for pre-medical, ran varsity track and cross country, graduated, and went directly into corporate America. Then through that journey, what we're going to dive in today and learning about self-awareness, I realized that I did not want to be confined to an office, and that being an entrepreneur has its perks. But like anything in life, it is not easy. So you have to choose your hard. And I'm excited to dive into the law of awareness today with each and every one of you, because it's really helping me not only know who I am as a woman, as a business partner, as a friend, as a leader, but truly to grow those skills. So J-Lo, I'm going to flip it to you real quick. If you want to introduce yourself just for the recording, and we'll dive into the law of awareness.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jess. So as Jessica said, she comes from that corporate world, while I come from education as well as government. So we got it all covered, right? My background was very traditional, and I thought that, you did the things like go to school, get a great job, and your life is going to be set from a retirement standpoint. And little did I know that as we age and as we get older, the retirement packages seem to shrink, whether you're in government or not. And was really delving into, finding out what truly entrepreneurism is, and building something for myself long-term as well as for my family. And that's really why I delved into the entrepreneur world, and really kind of opening that onion, peeling back the layers, and looking internally in myself, and which is why what we're going to talk about today is so pertinent to, I think, who I'm becoming and who I want to be, is the second chapter that we're going to dive into. So I'm excited about doing that. So Jess, I'll pass it back over to you, and let's get started.
Yeah. Awesome. So the law of awareness, guys, and each and every one of you on here, like, hats off, pat yourself on the back, smile, get excited, because in order to grow, you must know yourself, right? So Dr. John C. Maxwell talks about this. So let's jump into it. The law of awareness, you must know yourself to grow yourself. This is the second chapter in the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. So if you haven't read it, I encourage you to get it. It's an incredible cover-to-cover book. I could read it 15 more times and probably still learn something every time. But one quote that it starts out with in this chapter is, "No one can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere with dealing with himself." And you can break that down. And, a lot of people want to grow, but you have to sincerely and thoroughly know yourself in order to be able to grow. So we're going to break it down into different components, not only the types of people that there are, but also the 10 different questions to ask yourself when you're looking into your purpose and your passion. So I wanted to start out with a fun comedy. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the movie 50 First Dates, but let's take a look at a couple captions, because these really just, when you're talking about awareness and getting back to awareness and where you are in your stages of awareness, this gives you a pretty good look into what it is all about.
No sound, Jess.
Is that better?
The condition has come to be known as Goldfield syndrome. Who's Goldfield? A brilliant Lithuanian psychiatrist. He himself suffered temporal lobe damage. It took him 4 years to publish his findings because he had to keep starting over from scratch. Obviously, your sense of humor is still intact, and that's here. Magnificent amygdala as well.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, Douglas, I'd be happy to answer. But as I've told you several times, this is a hygienic facility and shirts are required in the office.
Okay. Hey, listen, doctor, a friend of mine's been experimenting a little with steroids, and he's been having a lot of wet dreams. Could there be a connection between those two?
Douglas, get off the juice. And as far as the nocturnal emissions, why don't you take a swim, buy a shirt with no holes in it, find a beautiful vagina and take her to dinner.
Tell my friend he said so.
In any case, Lucy, your condition is stable, but most likely permanent. I'm so sorry, dear. But it could be worse.
Yeah.
I think you should meet 10-Second Tom. Callahan Institute is the leading brain injury clinic in the Pacific Rim. We are funded out of Sandusky, Ohio by T.B. Callahan, the automotive. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you our most distinguished clinical subject, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. Henry. Marlon. Doug.
Missy. Hi. Oh, those are cool flip-flops. Where'd you get them?
You like those? It's an interesting story. I was over on the North Shore the other day.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Huh? Henry.
Hi. Marlon. Tom lost part of his brain in a hunting accident. His memory only lasts 10 seconds. It was in an accident? That's terrible. Don't worry, you'll totally get over it in about 3 seconds. Get over it? I mean, what happened? Did I get shot in the brain? Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Lucy.
Hi.
Doug. Hey.
Marlon.
Hey, Tom, can I tell you a secret?
Don't you think you're a little old to still have wet dreams?
They like that.
Hi, I'm Tom. Yeah, watch yourself, Tom. Easy.
So guys, as you can see, how would it feel if you were stuck in a stage in time where you weren't able to change, grow, or even be aware of what stage you were in your growth? And so imagine that not only 10-Second Tom, but Drew Barrymore, who acts out in this movie, 51st State, and realizing, wow, we have such an amazing opportunity, and just practicing that state of gratitude as you're on this journey of awareness, that you know where you're at, and you're going to be able to discover and uncover where you're at in this stage of growth to be able to move forward, to be able to learn and unlearn, to grow and regrow, to continue to strive higher. So I loved this comedy. We won't go into the next one in essence of time, but look it up, watch the movie. It'll really help you realize the sense of direction. Do you know your state of direction? Do you know where you're going in life to be able to move forward? So let's go back into it. So no recall. Do you have a sense of direction? It is our duty to find ourselves. Woodrow Wilson says it best. And, when we're talking about this, JLo, I'll flip it back to you in a second, but in order to reach your potential, you must know where you want to go. You have to know your sense of direction. I talk about, having that laser focused vision as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an individual. You must know that direction. And when you're on it, it's like a freight train. Nothing knocks you off that path. The right people jump onto that train and you continue to move forward and rock in life. So having that sense of direction is key. And we're going to dive into the 3 types of people. But before we do, JLo, I know you wanted to dive into a couple more of these things, maybe the note on John Maxwell, his quote.
Okay. On here? I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, you have to know where you are in order to grow your potential. The bottom line is that, you got to know where you've been in order to know where you're going. So many folks kind of delve into, I just want to go forward, but they forget where they've been. It's interesting because after reading this book and understanding the law of awareness and really what does that mean? It means that you need to have a sense of groundedness. You need to have a sense of purpose and a sense of place of where you've been. And I love this where he talks about delving into the types of people. Like, what types of people are there out there? Because it really just boils down to 3. Just 3 different types of people. I'll go over the first one, then I'll pass it back over to Jess. But, people who don't know what they would like to do. There are so many people who are in a space of constant going like this. It's like a whirlybird trying to figure out, what do I like? I don't know. I don't even have an idea of a purpose, of sense of self. And those are the confused folks. They're folks who are simply walking through life in a confused state, not sure where to land, not sure where to go. It's that loss and lack of a sense of direction to be able to kind of move deeper into who they are as people. So that one kind of spoke to me, just because, walking through life, we all take that idea of, where am I at in order to know where I'm going. So I'll pass it back over to Jess, because I think she's got some key ingredients and some key points, not only on that one, but on the next one as well.
Absolutely. And guys, I encourage you to go back to the beginning. Ask your parents, your friends, your family, your siblings, your significant other, where were you when you first started out on this journey? Where were you born? What's your heritage? I've been diving a lot into this. I'm back in my home country in Canada, and, in determining my direction in life, understanding and uncovering who it is that God made me to be and where I want to go in life. It's important to get back to your roots, just like Jessica said, and get grounded so that you can get rooted to flourish. But the second type of individual is the person who knows what they really would like to do, but they don't do it. And these people are often frustrated. They're full of fear. They don't understand, okay, what are the things I need to do to move forward? And I'm going to take action to do it. They're held back by fear, by lack of the opportunity to get out and get those skill sets, by direction. And they often end up in this wheel of frustration. Like they want to do it, but then they get caught up in that day-to-day grind, or they just don't get out and do it and take action. So I can totally resonate with some of these individuals, because there have been times in my life when I knew I wanted to do something, but because either I didn't know that I had the skill sets or the direction, or thinking that maybe, this is what the world tells me to do, I should do this rather than what I really want to do, and then not running towards it is frustrating. It's so debilitating. I'm sure you can either relate to this, or you see people stuck in this rut. So we want to help you get out of that and on to number 3, which is my favorite. So J-Lo, back to you.
Absolutely. These are people who know what they would like to do and do it. And that's something that I know Jess and I both truly resonate with right now, currently. Stepping outside of, like she said, her corporate world, me stepping outside of the education and government world, and just simply doing what we feel we can fulfill as a passion and a purpose together. So when passion and purpose kind of unite, that's where the beauty of who you are as a person kind of just comes out. That's when you start attracting some positive things. And we'll get into that later in the book. But I love this. It's really the people that are fulfilled. It's their focus, they're focused, strong, passionate. So Jess, I'll pass it back to you. I know you've got a couple things you wanted to share there nugget wise as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to read an excerpt from the book. And in 1907, Woodrow Wilson wrote this speech in a commencement address at Princeton. He says, "We live," and guys, imagine, this is 1907, imagine today what this would have sounded like, right? So Woodrow Wilson says, "We live in an age disturbed, confused, and bewildered, afraid of its own forces, in search not merely of its road, but even of its direction. There are many voices of counsel, but few voices of vision. And there is much excitement, there's feverish activity, but little concert of thoughtful purpose. We are distressed by our ungoverned, undirected energies and do many things, but nothing long. It is our duty to find ourselves." And this is so key, because you have to know who you are in order to grow in your potential. You can see on the quote at the bottom, Dr. John Maxwell says, "Explore yourself as you explore your growth." So guys, think outside the box. That is my mantra. It's great. Think outside the box. Let's rock into this, because we have some key questions to uncover for each of you so that we maximize your time and help get you on the path to find your purpose and potential.
Awesome.
J-Lo, rock and roll.
Awesome. So how to find your passion and purpose is that simple. It's, he talks here, Nathaniel Brandon, I love this quote: "The first step towards change is awareness. And then the second step is acceptance." So you're truly creating awareness, but then you're accepting where you're at. So if you want to change and grow, then you must know yourself and accept who you are before you can start building and laying those foundations for everything, okay? We're going to head into, we went a little back. There we go. We're going to head into 10 questions that when you start asking yourself these questions, it's just going to open and explore tons for you in your growth journey. So let's go ahead and maybe hop to the next slide. Boom. And I know you're up, Jess. You've got number 1. There you go. Awesome.
This is the first question in finding your purpose and potential. So if you have a pen and paper, if you don't, go back to this recording and take notes. Do you like what you're doing now? pause and ask yourself this. If time and money were not an issue, what would you be doing right now? And are you happy? Do you like what you're doing now? Do you love it even? So if you're not enjoying what you do for a living, you need to take some time to examine why. This is so important, because the unexamined life is not worth living. So the unlived life is worth examining. So guys, I would encourage you to just take a look at your life right now. What is it that you do like about it? What is it that you do not like about it? And what do you want to do to change? Like, what are the things that you can do to change? It takes risk. It takes really just making a change in really what you want to do, and just taking that mental note of, okay, pause for 10 seconds. Just take a moment right now. What do you like about yourself? What do you like about what you're doing? Your situation, where you're living, the people you're surrounded with. Just take some mental notes of this entire situation and really just start to examine where you're at. Because in order to grow from this, you have to understand your foundation and then uncover what it is that you need to change in order to get to that next step.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome, Jess. I appreciate that. That's awesome feedback. Number two, it leads right into number two. It's like, what would you like to do? Like, what is it? What would you like to do? I know I'm a softball coach. I don't know about Jess if she wants to do that. But, there's certain things that are who you are and what you are. So it's identifying that. And when you can identify it, there's definitely, like this quote says, a direct connection between finding your passion and then reaching that potential because of it. One of the things in this chapter or this particular section, he talks a lot about when you tap into your passion, it's like giving you the 2 E's. And when I thought of E's, honestly, I thought of Jess. Honestly, it's energy and excellence. It's that passion and purpose. It's the energetic, it's the enthusiasm in life, right? When you see that and you find it, and then you're pursuing excellence because of it, because it's driving your passion forward. That's when you identify what you like to do. Coaching, mentoring, leading, those are things that just bubble up for me. So it's finding that. And now I can unlock potential that I didn't even know was there. Okay. And that's something that's pretty powerful. The one quote in here that they talk about is, you will never fulfill your destiny doing work you despise. Passion gives you an advantage over others because one person with passion is greater than 99 who have only an interest. How true is that, right? And then the last piece to that is that passion gives you energy. So that's where the energy and excellence, when it connects, that's where what you would like to do rises to the top, and that's where potential can become unlocked. So I'm going to pass it over to you for number 3.
Awesome. So the third question, and that was awesome, Jess, just being able to unlock that and run towards that passion potential. Thanks for the accolades. Excellence and energy. You exude the same thing. On the phone, that's part of when you find your passion, your energy just comes out, right? Yeah. So number 3, can you do what you would like to do? You must have some sort of criteria for knowing if the desire you have matches the abilities you possess. I liken this back to anything in life. A lot of times in life, we look at somebody else and say, oh, I would really like to do that. I'd be happy if only I could do that. And then realizing that comparison is the killer of joy. You have to determine, your skill sets, and when your skills and your talents meet the needs of this world, that's where you found your purpose, right? So number 1, looking at these different criteria, do you know the difference between what you want and what you're good at? Understanding where your abilities lie and how to be successful, you need to know what you're good at. What are you good at? If you don't know, go to the 5 people you surround yourself with and ask them, hey, what are my skills? What am I good at? What do you see as the things that I'm great at? So ask some people. Number 2, do you know what drives you and what gives you satisfaction? I think a lot of times we get lost in we're doing a job for the wrong reasons, or we get stuck in maybe something that we aren't really motivated by, and we just do it to do it. And that is so debilitating. Back in our first law of intentionality, they talked about people dying with the music still inside of them. Oh my goodness. If you are doing something for the wrong reason and not something that drives you, if you don't jump out of bed in the morning wanting to run towards your purpose, you got to reevaluate where you're at. So understanding, can you do what you'd like to do, goes into the third piece of criteria. Ask yourself, do you know what your values and priorities are and what your organization's values and priorities are? When you understand what is your ethics, morals, values, and guidelines, and really what you want to align yourself with, then everything just falls into place. And no matter if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, if you're in direct sales, if you work for a company, if you're in a corporation, understand the organization's values and priorities will help you to uncover really what you want to be good at. There's a quote by Samuel Johnson. He says, almost every man wastes part of his life and attempts to display qualities which he does not possess. I think for myself, I was so caught up after college that I needed to go get a job, get a 401k, get a car, get a house, go through those criteria that the world wants you to do. And in doing that, I wasn't fully fulfilled. Now that I'm running towards my passion in life, every day is exciting. You run towards what you want to do. And when people are skeptical or they don't resonate, they just look at you and say, wow, she's really happy. I want to be really happy. I'm not happy. Maybe I should do what I want to do instead of what the world wants you to do. So understanding your values and priorities and really just getting laser focused on how you want to develop is just honing in on your skills. Find those skill sets that you're best at and then pool everything that you're good at together to run forward to your passion. All right.
Awesome.
Number
Yep, number 4. And that leads, I love these questions. They all build, right? So this one, do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? So the first one is, do you like what you're doing? Second one is, what would you like to do? Third one is, can you do it? And then the fourth one is, why would you want to do what you like to do? And Carl Jung's, this is like a spot on quote. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, but who looks inside awakens. And that's a huge, powerful statement, Throughout this little section of the book, he talks a lot, and John Maxwell really talks about that motives matter. The why behind things matter. I'm a why person in general, so not everyone is. But to ask that question of why would I want to do something? When you do things for the right reasons, he says, when you do them for the right reasons, it gives you inner strength when things go wrong. How many of us have had things go wrong? Hello, double hands, right? So having that inner strength to be able to push through the whys of things is really what this question is all about. It's delving deeper. It's finding a why. We find a why in our business that Jess and I are both a part of. If we don't have a strong and deep enough why, we'll stop moving. You stay in quicksand. You don't go forward. And that's something that I think this question really delves into. So this one is one to really pull the layers back and delve into internally, as well as fueling it with other folks around you. The whys, what creates that why for life, not only for your work experience, but your life as well. So I'll pass it back over to you, number 5.
Awesome. Halfway through, guys, hang in tight because we're just getting over that proverbial hump and rocking towards where your purpose and passion unite. So the 5th question is, do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? Do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? So really just the law of awareness encompasses one of my mentors and thought leaders of Success Magazine. I tune into Darren Hardy. It's called Darren Daily every day. Monday through Friday, he gives success tips, leadership, success nuggets. Today was on being a leader and getting in the trenches and leadership. But he talks about picturing where you are in any area. Now picture where you want to be, richer, thinner, happier, you name it. So the first step towards change is what we talked about. Number 1 is awareness. If you want to get to where you are, you have to start by becoming aware of the choices that are leading you away from that and just being conscious of every choice you make so that you can make smarter choices moving forward. I think over the last several months, I started to realize that you have to say no quickly and yes slowly, because every time you say yes, you say no to 100 other things. So being able to say no quickly and yes more slowly helps you get streamlined to where you really want to go in life. So take action. Number 1, you cannot win if you do not begin. I can't stress this enough. Too many people are getting ready to get ready, or they really want to do something, but they don't take the action steps. Even if it's one little iota, 1% every day, it's the compound effect, leads to massive success over time. But if you don't start, you'll never get going. It's like pushing that boulder up the hill. If you don't start pushing it up, it'll never get to the top and start rolling down for you. So The people who get ahead in this world are the ones who look for the circumstances they want rather than getting succumbed by those that are surrounding them. Because face it, if you don't decide your own life plan, you're going to fall into someone else's and they don't have much plan for you. So you have to dictate your future. So look for the circumstances you want. And if you can't find them, make it happen. We live in a world where every resource is at your fingertips. Everything that you need can be found online, can be found with another individual. We have so much support in this world. We're in the decade and the era of technology. So understand that all you have to do is take that step forward, take that initial step into action, and that'll catapult you into success. The next component is attraction. There's a quote that I love, and I have been telling myself for the past 3 years. It's, you attract what you respect what you admire what you become. So understand who you are is what you attract. And when you put it out to the universe, the whole universe conspires to make it happen. So you can't change direction if you aren't aware, but you cannot win if you don't begin. So understanding that is key. And then going into accountability. This webinar that JLo and I are doing, I am so grateful for, because it holds me accountable throughout the week to dive into this book, to hone into it myself, to be practicing these things every day, to be prepared for Fridays, and then every Friday to be on this and holding myself accountable to her, because if I let her down, I'm letting myself down, I'm letting you all down, and in return, you're letting the world down, because the world can be changed by 1%. So find somebody that helps hold you accountable, and that alone will help contribute to your success. So accountability is key. Attraction is paramount, and just making sure that you're aligning yourself with the people that are going to help fuel you forward. So back a couple questions ago, I said, ask the 5 people you surround yourself with. Get back to those 5 people and understand that, are you surrounding yourself with people that are going to fuel your success or deter your success? Focus on that. So JLo, I'm grateful for you in my life, because we continue to motivate each other moving forward. So the 6th question, it's all you, girl.
6th question. Yeah, definitely. This hits home. It's like, do you know people who do what you'd like to do? Mm-hmm. So as I'll use myself as an example, as I wanted to stretch myself in this entrepreneur world that I've never been in, I don't just go, well, I know it all myself and move along, because I will falter. So the idea is finding those folks who have that same passion, purpose, drive, who've done what I'd like to do with success. The mentors, the leaders, the thought leaders, the leadership development folks. It's the John Maxwell's of this world, right? It's the folks like that you align and surround yourself with. And how you do that is you get committed with them. You get committed. You pay people for their time if necessary. You find a way to make sure that you're committing to them. That's something that Jessica just talked about, committing to me. I think we're mentors to each other in different ways because of what our backgrounds are, but we're committed to each other in this path. The second one is be consistent. Meet purposely every month with someone who can teach you. If you can do it in a lunch meeting or a think tank, whatever, those are some things that you can do. Be creative. You could even start with some of their books if you can't meet them in person, which is what we're doing right here. Thank you, John Maxwell, right? Those types of things. It's being purposeful, spending preparation before you even interact with them so that they know that you're connected. Be reflective and spend a couple hours in reflection after you've met with them. So now you take what they've said and you reflect and you go, okay, this is what I think you said, and come back to it. Okay. And then the last one is just simply be grateful. Be in a space of gratitude. These people are definitely gifts in your personal growth, and you just need to let them know that. Let them know that you're in that space of finding folks and connecting with folks who are doing what you'd like to do in an excellent way, and merging that gap by saying, I identify you as someone for me. And Jess is going to lead into number 7, which this question leads right into that mentorship piece and where we want to head to. So I'll pass it back to you, Jess.
Awesome. So should you do what you'd like to do with them? Should you do it? I mean, that is a key question. And I'm so excited about this question, because you have to find a mentor. But in order to find a mentor, you must, number 1, understand, okay, and this goes back to being aware of who you are, possess a teachable spirit. Hats off to David and Mike and the others on this line, and those of you tuning in, listening to the recording, Find a mentor. You must understand that you must possess a teachable spirit. You must always be prepared for the time you get with your mentor. Set the agenda by asking great questions. Demonstrate how you've learned from your time together, and then be accountable for what you've learned. And, when you're going through that, I was on the phone with my mentor before we hopped on this webinar, and I had to make sure I had my accountability list set out, that I was prepared for that time we had together, that, I had questions to actually ask to learn and grow. And so, I love this piece, because if you're someone who's dedicated to personal growth, you will always be learning from many people in many places. Surrounding yourself with people that are better than you drives you higher. Being a part of this global leadership summit here in Canada is so profound, but learning is an ongoing basis, right? And being mentored by someone who's successful in your interest. So find someone, when you know what you're good at, find someone who's better at it than you and who's been successful, and then start to model their behavior and ask their feedback and as you grow. The other thing is to focus on as a mentor, because as you gear towards success, you learn by teaching and you learn by growing, right? So being able to mentor others helps catapult you in the direction of your success. So find people who, as you're on this journey, model after you and start helping them, offer your strengths to them, give them some choices, some feedback, show them your game plan, encourage them along this journey. I think, one of the really most exciting things about your goals is focusing on these areas to help you understand where to go. Ask those questions and make sure that the person that you are working with is right for your journey. Not everybody's going to resonate with where you're going. So find somebody that you resonate with, that resonates back with you. Start to ask some questions and focus on these goals together, asking advice, the track record for success, really what you need to do to set yourself up for success. So having important mentors in your life, whether it's somebody that it's a book author that you're reading every day, it's somebody that you're tuning into, like I love Darren Hardy, I love John Maxwell. And then I've got my own mentors who've either been successful in the entrepreneurial world, the direct selling world, their own business and coaching and teaching and training athletes. Find mentors that encourage you and inspire you to keep on that track, because this journey is not easy. But like I said in the beginning, choose your hard. And you guys have chosen an awesome opportunity to grow yourselves, which will lend to success in many areas. So Jess, I'm going to pass it back to you for number 8.
Awesome. Thanks. So, that leads to the next question, will you pay the price to do what you want to do? With everything comes sacrifice, and I use that term sacrifice, but it really is, it's trade-offs, instead of thinking sacrifice like, oh my goodness, but it's a trade-off as to where you want to sit in your growth journey. Okay. With everything comes that. This is from the book. Actually, it's a piece called Dream Big. If there were ever a time to dare to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it's now. Not for any grand cause necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that's your aspiration, something that's your dream. How many of us have a dream, right? You owe it to yourself to make your days here count, to have fun, dig deep, stretch, big. Know, though, that things worth doing seldom come easy. There will be good days and there will be bad days. There will be times when you want to turn around, pack it up and call it quits. I know I've been there. I think Jess has as well. Those times tell you that you're pushing yourself, that you are not afraid to learn by trying. And what that simply says is just, taking those steps to live your dream, it definitely is going to cost. There's a price to pay, as you're growing into that world of entrepreneurism, are you going to completely replace your salary in a day, in a month, in 6 months? Probably not. But when you say I'm in, then be in. Right? And be a part of in and what that means. So he talks a lot about that. He talks about, you'll have to work hard, you'll have to make sacrifice, but you'll also have to keep learning and growing and changing. So many people won't. But those of you who do, that's where the light bulb clicks and growth begins to happen. And the things that we talked about early on, that passion and purpose go together. That's the beauty of what we're talking about. So I'll pass it back to you, Jess, for number 9.
Awesome. And here's where we get to the crux of why you're on this webinar. Okay, the 9th question is when? When can you start doing what you'd like to do? When? When do you think? Well, Dr. John Maxwell says, most of the accomplishments I've achieved in life, I began to attempt when I wasn't really ready. Imagine that. He just jumped in. And like Richard Branson says, entrepreneurs jump out of a plane and build the wings on the way down. So when you're approached by an opportunity, you have an opportunity to shine or to run towards your passion and purpose, you just got to do it. You just got to jump out and do it and fail along the way. People like Michael Jordan, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, these individuals have failed the most, but they've achieved massive success because they didn't wait to get started. They just did it. So the question, when can you start doing it? Today, right now, right this very moment. Do something that is going to fuel you towards your success. Do something. And don't be afraid of doing that, because in doing it, all you're going to do is find a direction and start to hone your path into doing what you really want to do. So when can you start doing it? Right now. Do something right now that's going to equip you with the leadership to do that. And no one ever gets ready by getting ready. No one ever gets ready by waiting. You get ready by starting. So guys, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Jess, back to you for number 10.
Awesome. And lastly, what will it be like when you get to do what you'd like to do? It's everything that you think it will be, and it's everything that you never dreamt it would be, right? It's both of those things. That's what's the beauty of what we're talking about in this chapter about that law of self-awareness. It will be different. It'll be more difficult, but it will be so much better, because that's when the stars align. It's when beauty matches the passion and the purpose, and everything kind of comes together. It's the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm of ideas and thought processes. This quote here sums it up. There are two great days in a person's life: the day you were born and the day you discover why. Like, how passionate and how purposeful is that comment right there? The day you were born and the day you discovered why. That's really what it's about. It's seeking what you were put on this earth to do and then pursuing it with all your effort. It's just like it's in a path of pursuit for excellence, purpose, and passion. And that's the beauty of it. And that's where this whole chapter kind of just comes to life as we delve through those 10 questions. And as you see, each one kind of builds on the other till, wow, what will it be like? It allows you to dream. It allows you to drive forward too. So I'm going to pass it back over to you, Jess. There's a lot of stuff that we can share, but applying it is really where the next step goes.
Absolutely. So feel free to screenshot this or take these notes down. But guys, applying the law of awareness to your life, the questions in this chapter are really designed with you in mind. They're designed to prompt you to know yourself and to grow yourself, to really help you do what you were made to do in life, because you were made to achieve optimal purpose, passion, and potential. You were made to do incredible things in this world. You are unique in your own right, and you have those skills that other people do not, and you have something that the world needs to see. So ask yourself these 7 questions and literally spend some significant time on each one. Go into each one and make some mental notes, make some physical notes, start writing this down, and get a plan of action to follow. Start getting laser focused on the law of awareness in your life, on what you really want to do. And I look forward to seeing you on this journey, because we have such an amazing opportunity as individuals to reach our purpose and potential in life. Being able to lock arms with people like J-Lo and individuals that are surrounded in our company and outside of our company and just in this world. Just start to have conversations with people. Have the conversations with folks about what you're good at and ask advice. I fly around the country. I love sitting on the plane next to people and just having conversations. You learn so much about yourself when you have conversations. So get out there, fail along the way, get excited, and I look forward to hearing more about your journey. J-Lo and I both have social media sites. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to help answer questions. We'd love to learn more about what you want to uncover and what we can help you grow into as we develop as leaders and work with you to fine-tune what your purpose and passion is in life. So tune in with us for the next 13 weeks. This was week number 2 of 15, so we have 13 more weeks to go. So every Friday at 3 p.m., all of these are recorded, so feel free to email either one of us, follow us on social media, and we look forward to rocking with you on this journey.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. And just a sneak peek, next week, the law of the mirror. Good stuff. So thanks for being on, and definitely looking forward to our next journey next week.
Awesome. I'm going to pause the recording and we'll open it up for a little Q&A. We've got about 5 minutes. Would love to hear from you guys. So let me pause this and we'll be back in a minute.